make a video because, as I said in my previous videos, I am trying to really do the work and really take my mental health seriously. I have been to counseling several times, you know, throughout the years, but I've never really sat down and taken what I'm learning in counseling, or, you know, really did the work that I need to do outside of counseling to really change my way of thinking and change my behaviors. It's Lanice, and I am here with another video. As always, my little starter locks, they going whatever way they want to go. I took some photos yesterday, so I kind of got these little gold rings in my hair. I think the pictures are going to come out cute, but we'll see. My retwist is actually holding up strong. It still looks pretty decent, and I have a little bit of hang time, so I can put the back ones in a ponytail. Oh, it's so good, y'all. But now that I've kind of gone through the same situation multiple times, I kind of realized that at this point, I have no choice but to really sit down and take counseling serious. And now that I'm working as an RN, I can also go to counseling consistently because I have insurance again. And again, we will not talk about the health system in America. But, you know, at one point in time when I was in nursing school, you know, I was without insurance. So I wasn't able to go to counseling as bad as I would like to have. So I want to sit down and kind of create a series of videos to not only, you know, talk about nursing. I'm always going to stick to nursing and do the nursing videos for everybody interested in that. But I also want to sit down and create a series of videos that kind of just go into the things that I'm learning in therapy while I try to remain consistent and do the work that I'm supposed to do outside of therapy. I kind of want to use YouTube as like a video diary, and I haven't named, I'm not quite sure what I want to call these series of videos, but I kind of want it to lean towards my therapist, you know, talks, like what I talk about with my therapist. So because I want to do this because when I sit down and I really have a deep connection or a deep talk with someone, I realize that I feel more human after having those conversations, because I realize that we all really have our own same struggles. And I know that's something that we say, but whenever we really meet someone who has been through what we've been through and we relate to them, we really do feel even more human. But you also realize that a lot of us have the same struggles, and a lot of us don't really know how to make it through. So I'm not here to tell anybody what to do. I am not a mental health professional. I am a nurse. I'm a health professional, but I'm not a mental health professional. So I'm in no way trying to, you know, be anyone's therapist. But I feel like if I sit down and I share with you guys what I'm doing throughout the weeks to change my behavior, I think we're gonna do some cognitive behavioral therapy. I think that's what it's called. I feel like sharing this with someone else can help somebody else feel human, and anybody that's not really able to get into counseling right now, if they've been through the same things I've been through, or they're struggling with the same things that I'm struggling with, maybe you can get something from me, because YouTube is free outside of all the ads that they're making you go through nowadays, just in, you know, because they really want you to subscribe to their expensive YouTube channel. But anyways, I hope I don't get like a small amount of views just because I shared that. But anyway, so my therapist and I right now, we have kind of came to the conclusion. I say that because when you're in therapy, you're not going to someone to get advice from them. You're going to someone to kind of work through these things together, who's able to really look at your life objectively and help you, you know, change some of the behaviors. You guys come to conclusions kind of together in a together format. They help you think of these things. So my counselor and I came to the conclusion that one of the reasons that I don't have much confidence in myself is because I don't have any confidence in my ability to make decisions. So I tend to go to other people with the decisions that I have to make about my own life, not maybe to make the decision for me, but maybe so validate my decision making, or to validate the choice that I made in making a certain decision. Part of that comes from making poor decisions in the past, and after you make a series of poor decisions, even if it's the same one, you still kind of lose confidence in yourself to make decisions. And whenever you don't and whenever you allow yourself to constantly run to other people and be influenced by them, you really realize that the life that you're living, or the life that you've created, is not so much yours, but sometimes someone else's, especially if you run to your parents all the time to make decisions for you, or you run to your spouse all the time to make decisions for you. You start to begin to create the life that they want you to have. So in order to really enjoy life, it has to be the life that you created for yourself. So right now, my therapist and I, last week we decided that it would be good for my homework to be how to make better decisions, or to kind of try to figure out why I make the decisions that I make. So in the process of doing all that, I watched a lot of videos. I did a good amount of research on what makes people good decision makers and how to become a better decision maker. So since that is my homework, since I'm a visual person, I love to be creative, I feel like it would be great for me to share this with you guys on YouTube. So that was a mouthful. I think I'm at 5 minutes and 50 seconds now. Let me take a deep breath before I really get into it. So a few things that factor our decisions are our emotional attachment to the decision, confirmation bias, the fact that sometimes we go to people that we really respect, you know, we respect their opinions a lot, and the fact that decision making is just hard sometimes. But it's good to be a good decision maker. I feel like I'm gonna say that word a million times in this video. But it's good to be a decision maker, because as you get older, the decisions that you make in your life, the decisions get harder, and the consequences that follow your decisions, those get a lot harder too, especially when you decide to continue to make the same poor decision. The outcome, the consequences you get, all of that, it really starts to affect your life the older you get, the further along you get in life, because the decisions become bigger. And I mean, one day it might be like life or death, or so and sometimes, if you're anything like me, you kind of procrastinate and you kind of just put things off, sweep them under the rug, whatever you want to call it. And that leaves you having to make a lot of rushed decisions. I have definitely had to make a lot of rushed decisions. So what I have learned is one way to help you become a better decision maker is whenever something comes up and you have to choose between two things, sit down and really take your emotions out of it. So one way to take your emotions out of it would be what would you tell your friend? I know it sounds so cliche, like we hear it all the time. Well, would you want your daughter to go through this? Or would you want your mother to go through this? But really, when you really sit down and ask yourself, what would I tell my friend? What advice would I give my friend? Because we all can give out great advice. We can all tell our friends, what to do in their situation, because we don't have any emotional attachment to what the outcome may be. So we can give great advice to our friends. So that's what you need to do for yourself. Like, you have to sit down and try to take the emotions out of the decision. So you can talk to yourself in third person, and instead of saying Lanice, instead of saying the other person's name or whatever, really sit down and say they, instead of saying Lanice and Sam, because anytime you hear your name, you're gonna feel an emotional attachment to it, because that's you, say they. That way you really are taking yourself out of the situation, even whenever you're describing it. So another thing that will, like I said, influence you or influence your decision making is confirmation bias. When you go to a resource, whenever you use a resource that's basically gonna tell you what you want to hear. So if I feel like Donald Trump is an amazing president, which I don't, if I feel like that and I go and read articles that are promoting him and talking about all the wonderful things that he's done and nothing about what he said that's been horrible, or things that he's done that has been horrible, then I'm going and getting confirmation bias. That is going to tell me exactly what I want to hear. Now, on a everyday level, it's like I have confirmation bias when it comes to my friends. I know which friends are going to tell me, you know, what I'm doing is okay and are going to make me feel good about those behaviors or good about that decision that I make. I know which friend is going to validate the decision that I make. So sometimes we find confirmation bias in the people that we run to help us make these decisions. So that would definitely influence your decision. Or sometimes we have like great friends who are very smart that we would probably trust with our lives because they know how to fix everything. They think very quickly on their feet. They're very wise. We just really respect these people in our lives, you know, but sometimes they can influence us to make a decision that is not best for us. And just out of having a great deal of respect for this person, you know, we might trust that what we feel inside is not right or not a good decision because the person that we respect is influencing us to feel that way. So that's another reason why it's very important to be able to make good decisions on your own, so you don't need that validation from other people and you're not constantly going to other people, you know, for making decisions. So, you know, like I said, you want to try to remove the emotion, remove yourself from the situation. What would you tell your friend? Or kind of think about it from a third person point of view. If you were sitting back and reading about this in a story and you'd be like, why, you know, why is she going that way? You know, just out of reading it, you know, or seeing it in a movie. Another thing, whenever you're wanting to make a good decision, you have to have goals. Because when you have goals, it's easier to say, okay, well, this decision is either taking me closer to or further from my goal. Small example would be, I want a six-pack. I would love to have the same six-pack I had when I was 18 years old, playing basketball every day, running track. I want that body back. So I can choose to continue to eat bread and carbs and pasta and cookies and brownies because I have a mean sweet tooth, but my goal is my abs, my six-pack. So the decision that I'm making, is it taking me towards my six-pack or is it taking me towards my back fat? Like, which one is it? You know, what you pick and choose. So that also means that the decisions that we make every day, the little small decisions, they add up to a bigger picture. You know, they're all like drops of water in a bucket. You know, after a while, the bucket's gonna be full. So anyways, you know, you have to you consistently have to make good decisions. So, you know, I would love for my following on YouTube to grow. I would love it. So I have to consistently make the decision that aligns with me wanting to build my YouTube channel, which means I have to consistently decide to try to be productive and to try to push through regardless of how I'm feeling and create consistent content to release on YouTube, because researchers say that, you know, that's the only way to grow, you know? So I gotta do what I gotta do. And so one last thing that I'm trying to get out of the habit of is procrastinating, because as I said before, I think I said before, procrastinating has definitely caused me to make a lot of rushed decisions. So, you know, making a timeline, building a calendar, giving myself an equal amount of time every day to work towards goals, or giving myself a good amount of time to really sit down and go through the pros and the cons for a decision, so I'm not making a rush decision or making a decision out of an emotion that is there right there in the moment. So yeah, but yeah, that's about all I really got. So again, that's what I'm gonna do to try to become a better decision maker. That was my homework for this week. So anyone else out there who is kind of struggling with their confidence, and you don't feel like you're making the best decisions, or you don't have confidence in your decision making, I seriously challenge you to sit down and figure out, you know, kind of put what I've said, think about it in your own life. Like, where do you normally allow people to influence you? Who do you normally allow to influence your decisions? And I challenge you, because this was my challenge also, to start making decisions that you normally call your mom or call your friend about. Try to make those decisions on your own this week and see how much better you feel about yourself. So my name is Lanice, and I am here with another video on my channel. You'll find lots of nursing videos and a little bit of what I'm doing now. If you like it, I just ask that you subscribe, and when you subscribe, hit the bell notification, and I'm out.